Hi, my name is Carolyn Madden. I am currently a stay-at-home mom. I used to teach kindergarten, so I'm just doing this with the computer. I read the article, Kindergarten, Prediction, Retelling, Questions, Clarifications by P. Myers. It's the Princess Storyteller, Clara the Clarifier, Quincy the Questioner, and the Wizard for the predictor. This specifically targets kindergarten. Myers went through, did a study in her own kindergarten classroom on doing this reciprocal teaching using those four characters, the princess, the wizard, and such. And she kept track of four particular students, one above grade level, reading level, two ELLs, and then a fourth student who was a little bit lower reading level. She had an entrance interview consisting of, I think, 4 or 5 questions, one of them being, what do you do when you don't understand something while your teacher is reading? Answers varied from, I understand everything. I don't ask questions, I get it, to, I'll raise my hand and ask the teacher. By the end of the exit interview, those same questions, all 4 students answered, I would ask Clara the Clarifier. I would raise my hand and say, I have a Clara the Clarifying question, and would ask using the character if they didn't understand. So they were comfortable using the characters by the end of this 3-month period. The teacher in this study also would rate the students using a rubric 1 through 3, 3 being the best show of development and understanding of each category of the characters, the 4 characters. Not everybody got a 3. It wasn't all passing. One student who was particularly shy never really understood the concept of clarifying the Clara the Clarifier, and never truly answered deep questions, so she always received a 2, but it was better than what she had been doing. She was a particularly shy student and really wouldn't ask any questions. So this article does help me in the way of presenting the reciprocal teaching to kindergartners, because it's advanced concepts, and that sometimes is hard to present to young students. So she explained to do it with puppets, not with other props, which I agree with, because most props, a headband or a microphone or other multiple props, can get confusing and distract students, young students like kindergartners, from the actual point of the lesson, the concept. So I agree with that in the article. For my lesson today, I'm going to be reading a story that I really wouldn't actually read for kindergarten. I would read, it's just a short story I'm going to use to present how I would introduce the concept. This is Lost and Found using Winnie the Pooh. Story written by Guy Davis and illustrated by John Kurtz. Again, it's using Disney's Winnie the Pooh, titled Lost and Found. I'm going to assume that I've already taught some of the other characters, including the wizard predictor, Clarence the Questioner, who I would review is questioner for simple questions, yes or no questions. What color is the hoe that's in question that they're looking for, or just simple one answer kind of questions would be Clarence the Questioner. Today we're introducing a new character called Clara the Clarifier, and she's a cow. Here we go. One sunny morning in the 100-acre wood, Rabbit woke up feeling very excited. It was time to plant his garden, and he'd been waiting all winter for this spring day. Rabbit made up a little rhyme as he got out of bed. It's time to plant, it's time to sow. All I need is my garden hoe. Rabbit's rhyme reminded him of something. Where is my garden hoe? He wondered. Oh, I'm sure it'll turn up, Rabbit muttered to himself as he gathered his bag of seeds and other garden tools. Unfortunately, Rabbit's hoe did not turn up. Moo, moo. Oh, it's Clara the Clarifying Cow. Clara, do you have a question? Yes, I do have a question. My question is, where is Rabbit looking? Where would the hoe be? I see in the picture that Rabbit is looking for the hoe in the closet. I'm not quite sure why a hoe would be in a closet. I think there's a better place to hide a hoe. Where do you think the hoe is hiding for the garden? Now, Clara has a great question. It's not a yes or no question. We can't say yes to that question or no. We have to think. Clarice the cow's question was, where is a good place for a garden hoe to be? Rabbit looked in his closet. Is that a good question? Is that a good place for a garden hoe to be? No, that was Clarence, the questioner, asking that question. It was a no question. Think to yourselves, where would a good garden hoe be? Might be the garden shed, might be outside in the garage, might be with the other tools. It's a good clarifying question, Clara. Let's keep reading. Rabbit looked all around his house. He finally remembered that he had loaned his hoe to Piglet in the fall. Aha! Piglet has my garden hoe, said Rabbit. He set out for Piglet's right away, rhyming. All I need is my garden hoe. Piglet has it. Now I know. By the time Rabbit arrived at Piglet's, he was in a bit of a huff. Piglet, what have you done with my hoe? Asked Rabbit. Piglet and Winnie the Pooh were a bit puzzled by his question. In a meek voice, Piglet asked, What hoe? My garden hoe, said Rabbit. Where is it? Let's keep reading. I don't know, answered Piglet. Have you lost it? No, said Rabbit. You've lost it. How? How did I do that? Asked Piglet in a frightened little voice. You borrowed my hoe last fall, said Rabbit, and now I need it back. Very accusing. Clara the Clarified, do you have any questions? I do have a question. Thank you, teacher. I will ask, how do you think Rabbit is feeling? We read from the story that Piglet is feeling scared because Rabbit is being pretty forceful that Piglet took or hid or borrowed his hoe and didn't return it. How is Rabbit feeling, do you think? He really needs his hoe, but he doesn't have it, he can't find it. Good clarifying question. That's looking for an opinion. So I want you to think, how would you feel if you were Rabbit, you lost something, you can't find it? Has that ever happened to you? How would you feel? Turn and tell your neighbor. All right, back to me. Good clarifying question, Clara the cow. It was a question that we had to think about. It was not yes or no. Excellent clarifying question. All right, let's turn the page. I don't really remember borrowing it, said Piglet, but I will certainly help you look for it. The friends began searching all over Piglet's house. They looked inside drawers, under the bed, under the rug, everywhere they could think of, but no hoe. I wonder where it is. The three friends took their search outdoors, where Rabbit muttered his rhyme loud enough for Piglet to hear. I find myself so full of woe, since Piglet lost my garden hoe. Piglet's feelings were somewhat hurt, but he continued to look for the missing hoe nevertheless. Piglet, Pooh, and Rabbit looked and looked and looked and looked and looked. They looked in things, under things, behind things, over things, and around things. It sounds like they're looking everywhere for this missing hoe. After the friends had looked everywhere there was to look in the entire 100-acre wood, Rabbit finally announced that enough was enough. Let's go back to my garden, he said wearily. Moo, moo. Clarifying Cow has another question. Clara, what is your question? I think, that they looked everywhere. I can't possibly think of anywhere else that hoe would be. I don't think they're going to find the hoe in this story. The story's almost over, and they said they looked everywhere. I don't really understand where that hoe could be. Does anybody have any ideas of how to help Clara clarify? This story is about being lost and found, this hoe, and being found is part of the story, but it's almost over. We haven't found it. Can you help Clara? Some students might answer that it could be in other locations. It would cause them some deep thinking about where else they haven't looked. They looked at rabbits. They looked at Rabbit's house. So it would prompt them to think deeper about where a hoe could be located. And maybe even build on the prior, activate the prior knowledge by thinking, oh, well, me and my mom or whoever had worked in the garden and we once left a hoe or a rake outside. It might help. All right, we're turning the page. Rabbit, said Piglet as they neared Rabbit's garden. Isn't that your hoe right there? Yes, my goodness, said Rabbit, feeling embarrassed. I'm so sorry, Piglet. Can you forgive me? He asked. There's the hoe, right next to a tree. They did find it, Clara. Good questions, though. Piglet forgave Rabbit right away, and they all went to work planting in the garden. Later, Rabbit had a new rhyme for Piglet and Pooh. I lost my own hoe, that much is true, but I'm lucky to have found friends like you. The end. Now, that story again was not meant for kindergarten. It's just a younger story I have for my daughter. But the point is to use Clarifying Cow and model questions from Clarifying Cow, Claire the clarifying, whoever, that are deeper and prompt deeper thinking than just a yes or no question or a simple one answer kind of question as the questioner would do. This is to clarify. And I think using the stuffed animal and modeling through the stuffed animal helps the students, the young students, kindergartners, to think of what the item would do, the puppet would do, and not necessarily themselves, because a lot of students, especially those young students, can be shy and don't even like speaking up, don't like asking questions, don't like to be bothered, or whatever their excuse is. Using a puppet will help those students. And I like the idea of interrupting Cal. You just have to go over that it's interrupting in a respectful way and raising your hand and saying, you know, this is a good time to ask questions because I'm confused or I'm thinking further in the story or whatnot. So overall, yes, that article that I read by Myers regarding kindergartners and the reciprocal teaching is absolutely vital, I think. I absolutely would use reciprocal teaching in my classroom. At kindergarten specifically, I like the younger students. That's my specialty. It's definitely doable. It just have to be adapted, and I think the introduction to those would have to be slowed down, maybe one character per week, depending on the class and everything. So, thank you.